In these writing tips, we're talking about tagless writing. And in the last one, I talked about the 3-camera scene. And if you haven't watched that, it might help you understand what's going on now. For the sake of this conversation, I'm going to be reading from my book, Members of the Cast, rather than beating up on some other writer. And I'm going to be reading tag writing that is not in the book, and then I'll be reading what is in the book. But to get you set with the scene, here's the opening 2 lines. Outside the apartment, Margot's biggest problem was the F on her biology test. Inside, it didn't matter. Her parents were leaving. So now we have the scene set, and 2 people are in this scene so far. And as a sidebar, that scene shows us a couple of things. One, Margot's not a good student. Probably sophomore, junior in high school, because she still lives with her parents and they're going to be grumpy about this thing. We also know that this is bad news because the problem with the test has been totally overshadowed by this new problem. Her parents are leaving. And you can probably guess that they're not going down to the grocery store to get a bottle of pop. I'm going to skip down a few lines. Your father's grant came in a year early, Mother said. Now that's not what's in the book. That's tag writing. Here's what we have in the book. Your father's grant came in a year early. Mother used her, "Isn't this the best news?" voice. Oh, when? Margot queried. I didn't write that either. And if I never had to read queried again in a novel, I could be a happy man. I wanted to separate the O and the when. And so this time I used the 3rd camera to separate those 2 things. So it simply says, Margot couldn't muster an answer right away, finally offering a quiet "oh." With an exasperated sigh, her mother wrestled with an egg beater held in a headlock by the tangled cord. At this point, I have no tags. The word when has to be said by Margot. There's only 2 people in the room, and if Mother just announced this, the only person that could be asking when would be Margot. And that wrestling with the mixer separates the 2 paragraphs, makes this is actually 3 paragraphs then, the O, the wrestling, and the when. The wrestling gives us a scene. It gives us what's going on. Mother's in the kitchen. She's got stuff on the counter. And so we have scenery rather than queried. We'll break there to keep these writing tips short, but we will continue with this opening in the next video.